Hi dear students, let's start with the first chapter of 10th standard chemistry. That's nothing but acids, bases and salts. Here again, there are three concepts. One is acids, another one is bases, and then the salts. Salt concept we will be covering at the end of the chapter. Throughout the chapter, we will be discussing more and more about acids and bases. To start with, let us discuss about the physical properties of acids, bases and salts. You already know the physical properties of acids, bases and salts because this is a concept which is included in your 7th as well as 8th standard. Let us talk about it. If I talk about an acid and a base, on the basis of taste, we know that the acid or acid containing substances, they are sour in their taste, right? What we call it as khatta. So anything which is khatta mostly contains an acid. For example, if you talk about citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, all these fruits, they are sometimes sour in their taste. Lemon, for sure it is sour, but even oranges sometimes are sour in their taste because of the presence of acid. So basically acids are sour in their taste. If I talk about the bases, they are basically bitter in their taste. A very good example will be baking soda. We might have seen that idlis and dosas, whenever they are prepared, it is a usual practice that we add baking soda into that. Wherever the quantity of baking soda goes high in idli or dosa, their taste slightly changes to bitter. That is all because increase in the base quantity. So these bases are basically bitter in their taste. Coming to the next concept, that is nothing but their touch. Now basically, if I talk about the bases, these bases are soapy to touch. Do this activity at home also. Take a pinch of baking soda. First, wet your fingers with water. Take a pinch of baking soda and start rubbing on your fingers. Whenever you do this kind of activity, you will get to see that automatically you get that soapy touch. That is all because baking soda is a base. So bases are basically soapy to touch. Rather, acids are non-soapy. These are non-soapy to touch. So that is the second physical property of acids and bases. Now if I talk about the third property, that is nothing but either acceptance or donating the hydrogen ion. We know that acids always contain H plus ions in them, right? Just because they have many H plus ions, they basically become the donors of the H plus ions, and these will become the acceptors of the H plus ions. So these are the physical properties of the acids and bases. That is, acids are sour in their taste, bases are bitter in their taste. And acids are non-soapy to touch, wherein bases are soapy to touch. And when it comes for acids, they become the best hydrogen donors and bases are the best hydrogen acceptors. This is all about the physical properties of acids and bases. Now the question arises, one of the best way to find out whether an acid or a base is there in any substance is tasting that particular substance. Now, tasting all the substances is not good. So we have to find out the other way to find out whether the given substance contains an acid and or a base. Now here we get introduced to a topic called indicators. Now indicators are the substances which will tell you whether the given substance is acidic or basic in its nature. That's the reason why they are called as indicators, because they indicate the presence of acid base in a substance, and that's the reason why they are called as acid base indicator. Acid base indicator. Coming to the next one, now if you talk about these acid base indicators, they can be of two types. One is natural indicators, they can be naturally obtained from the nature, and the second one is artificial indicators. Coming to the natural indicators, among them again we have two types. One is visual indicators. Next one is olfactory indicators. What do you understand by the word visual? Something which is visible to us, right? So natural indicators like turmeric, China rose and litmus will basically change their color and indicate whether the given substance is acidic or basic, and that's the reason why they are called as visual indicators. Coming to olfactory, we know the word olfactory refers something related to smell. So there are certain indicators like vanilla, onion and clove. They change their smell and indicate whether the given substance is acidic or basic. Now let us see what they do to indicate whether something is acidic or basic. Let us understand it through this column. So this is an acid and this is a base over here. So whenever turmeric comes in contact with an acidic substance, it will remain yellow. It will not change its color. But whenever it comes in contact with the base, it will change its color to red. Let's take an anecdote, a real life example. We have seen that on the white color kurta, whenever the curry falls, it gets a yellow color stain. The stain which is there, it will remain yellow before the wash. But the moment you apply the soap which is basic in its nature on the stain which is containing turmeric, the stain color changes to red. That is all because the turmeric comes in contact with the base like soap and it changes its color to red. That is the reason why the stain color changes to red. So that is how the turmeric becomes an indicator. Next one is China rose. China rose solution, when you basically prepare, it will remain pink in its color. So with the acid it will give pink color, but when it comes for base it will turn itself into green, and that's how it indicates whether the given substance is acidic or basic. Coming to the litmus paper, this litmus paper we can actually have two uses of litmus. One is using it in the form of solution, another one is using it in the form of a litmus paper. If you talk about a solution, the solution of litmus changes to red in acid and blue in basic. Done. If you talk about the red litmus paper are basically of two types. One is red litmus paper, another one is blue litmus paper. This red litmus paper, whenever it comes in contact with acid, it will remain the same. But the moment it will come in contact with the base, it changes its color to blue. And the blue litmus paper, once it comes in contact with an acid, it changes its color to red. So either litmus solution can show these results or the litmus paper can show these results to indicate whether the given substance is acid or a base. Coming to the olfactory indicators, we all know that vanilla, onion and clove, they have got their characteristic smell, right? This smell disappears whenever they are there in a basic condition. So whenever these three substances are there in acidic medium, they will show you the characteristic odor, characteristic smell. But the moment they are shifted to a basic medium, they will lose their color, indicating that that is a basic medium, and that's how they become the olfactory indicators by changing their smell. Coming to the last type of indicators, which is nothing but artificial. These artificial indicators are prepared in the laboratory, and we are going to focus on only one, which is very famous example for this, and that is nothing but phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein is an artificial indicator which is used.